Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and for today's video, I'm going to be going through all of the books that I purchased in the month of July. July is not technically over yet, but I know that I'm not going to be buying any more books this month, so I'm filming this as kind of like helping me out with my semi-book buying ban for the rest of this month and for the next little bit, just so I've got all the books that I bought in July. There were a lot of really good book sales in the month of July. I got some from Book of the Month, Target had some really great book sales, and also Barnes & Noble had their, I think it was Black Friday in July or Christmas in July sale, and that one got some great stuff from there too. So going into it, I'm just gonna go through from the date I got them, and we got kind of a lot of books, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with the video. So the first two books that I got were from Book of the Month. Amazing subscription. It's the only subscription service that I have in terms of reading. And the first book that I did get was one of the monthly picks, and that is going to be Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is a mystery, and I think it kind of is going to be one of those that also kind of verges into the horror territory. It is about a young woman named Jules. She is apartment sitting for an apartment in the Bartholomew, which is a very prestigious apartment building in Manhattan. And this is, I think, people start mysteriously disappearing, and a lot of creepy stuff happens after dark in the apartment, as well as there are just some like weird ground rules for Jules while she's living in the apartment. So I'm excited to pick this one up. It looks like a fantastic read. I've read both of Riley Sager's other books and have absolutely adored them, so I am looking forward to picking up his third book. The second book I got was a backlog pick, and that was a nonfiction work, and that was American Predator: The Hunt for the Most Meticulous Serial Killer of the 21st Century by Maureen Callahan. This is a study on Israel Keyes, one of the most ambitious and terrifying serial killers in modern history. This is the story about how the FBI ultimately caught Keyes and trying to understand what made him do what he did. So I am looking forward to reading this one. I don't read a lot of true crime books. I mostly listen to like podcasts and documentaries and Netflix shows, stuff like that. But I'm really excited to read this one. I really only pick up true crime books where they know the person, they know who the person is, so it's not just like random speculation or guesswork. So this definitely is just a portrait of a guy who did a lot of horrible things, so it'll be kind of interesting to read about what makes a serial killer tick. The next two books I got were from Target. I don't normally buy books at Target because I am a Barnes & Noble card member, so I tend to get most of my books from there or half-price books. But they have some stuff that I've been interested in, I've been keeping some tabs on, and that are actually cheaper than Barnes & Noble when they go on sale. $25 a piece instead of, I think they're normally like $35. I got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone Illustrated Edition and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Illustrated Edition. I was going to buy Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban too, but the only copy that they had at the Target was like the dust jacket was really ripped. So even though it was like heavily discounted, I didn't want a ripped book. But these are gorgeous. I actually, even though I am a huge Harry Potter fan, don't have any of the books in my possession. I did grow up reading Harry Potter, and I actually own all the books. When they came out, I'd go to like the midnight book releases and get them then. But I do have younger siblings, and one of them is actually currently reading the Harry Potter series for the first time. And even though the books are technically mine, I really just didn't want to take them from my house, and it just didn't really make sense for me to take them and hoard them while like I knew my siblings in the house and my parents' house would still read them, and I want them to experience the magic of Harry Potter for the first time. So I definitely am planning on getting my original editions back at some point, but I'm just waiting until all my siblings like cycle out of the house and get to read them for the first time. So I really wanted to get these illustrated editions, not just because I think they are amazing collector's editions, and something to have if you're like really stoked about Harry Potter, but you know, when I have kids one day, I think this is going to be an excellent way to really introduce people to just reading in general. The illustrations are wonderful. Like, this is Sir Nearly Headless Nick. The illustrations also, like, even though they're like children's illustrations, like they have like this whimsical but also dark quality about them that I really enjoy, and I just think capture like what Harry Potter is. And like they have like full cover ones, like this is one of Harry. Just wow. Just wow. Wow. These are amazing. I'm looking forward to collecting them all. They are pretty hefty. Okay, yeah, so it says originally they're $40 US, so that's an investment to spend on a book for sure. But I got both of these for $25 a piece, and I also bought them with birthday money. It was a really good time to get them, and I'm just so excited to continue. I'm rereading the series this year. I am listening to the audiobooks for the first time, but I definitely think for my next reread, I'll be rereading these because just even on like the dust jackets, the artwork is just exquisite, and I'm just really happy that, you know, I kind of took the plunge and just decided to purchase them. And then the rest of the books I got were from Barnes & Noble, and they were from that Christmas in July sale, which was 20% off everything, but also it was like they had like additional deals on top of that, so you could get some books for some real good prices. The first book I got was Final Girls by Riley Sager. I've read this before. We actually talked about Riley Sager with The Lock Every Door. So this is his first book. I really enjoyed this one, and this one was $5. And then once you add the 20% off, that made this like $4 something. So really great read. I actually got The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager in Book of the Month. This book was the reason that I initially got the Book of the Month subscription, because I saw this was a book that you could get on there, and so now I own all of Riley Sager's work. It looks like this one is a little bit shorter, like shorter in size than the Book of the Month ones, but I just wanted to have all of Riley Sager's work because I did really enjoy it. I listened to this on audiobook, so I'd be interested in going back and reading it physically and seeing, you know, what I think of it the second time around, because it was actually one of my first audiobooks that I listened to ever. So it definitely would be interesting to see, like, maybe if my rating changed or if I liked it a little bit better or worse, just depending on reading it physically versus reading it via an audiobook. The next book I ended up picking up was Joe Hill's Strange Weather. This one was also $5, so with the 20% $4 something. I have not read this yet. It's a short story collection by Joe Hill, who's Stephen King's son. He is an amazing voice in horror. Yeah, I'm just really excited to read this one. I have heard amazing things about it, and I've never picked it up. I've read, I think now, most of Joe Hill's work except for this and Heart Shaped Box, so I'm excited to have this in the collection, and it's one of those like very velvety hardcovers, so I'm pretty glad I got it. It did come to me a little bit dinged up, hence why I think they were selling it for $5. I know it's going to be one that I love and keep around, so a little dings here and there doesn't really make too much of a difference, especially since I did get it for $4. And then one of the sales that they're having on top of the 20% off was DC Comics, where buy two get one free. So I just gave my boyfriend the laptop and said, hey, go crazy, pick out 3 of the best DC comics that you see on here, because he's a big comic reader. That's really the only thing he reads. He grew up reading them with his dad, and I've read a couple comics trying to get into them. I love superheroes in like video games and movies, so that'd be fun to pick up some comics. So we ended up getting, let's see, so Brian Azzarello's The Joker. This one looks like a very dark, very twisted Joker story, so that'll be interesting. Probably read this one around Halloween time or when the new Joker movie comes out. Second one we got was Kingdom Come. This is Justice League, I'm pretty sure. It says it's one of the greatest comic book stories of all time, and my boyfriend does agree with that. He thinks this one's incredible. Not sure what it's about, but it is Justice League, I'm pretty sure. At least it has Superman and Wonder Woman in it. So there's that one. And then the last one is Batman The Dark Knight Returns 30th Anniversary Edition by Frank Miller. And this one is one of the best Batman iterations, I believe. My boyfriend in particular loves Batman. That's actually why our dog is named Bruce. It's after Bruce Wayne, even though we both agree he acts more like a Bruce Banner. Yeah, I'm excited to read this one too. And this one looks very, very vintage. in terms of the illustrations. They have very different illustration styles, so I'm looking forward to picking these ones up and really delving into the world of comics. I think he picked a pretty great jump off point because I have read some Marvel comics, but I haven't really read any DC comics. Gonna be a pretty good start for that. But those are all of the books that I purchased or acquired in the month of July. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!